her sister, correct?
But Haru, you've seen her shadow version. Like, they're not that different looking from one another. Do you need her to put on the hat and the eyeliner to be able to tell?
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
It's ancient history now.
Man, that goddamn detective.
Look who's here.
It's a zombie! Kill him!
Hey, you big bastard.
Rude.
How have you been?
God, death sucks. I died.
You must be fine if you're joking around like that.
Well, I am the Joker. My viewer count is gonna plummet.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
Don't make it sound creepy like that, please. I have a girlfriend.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
Still, how'd you pull this off?
A whole lot of anime nonsense, Coffee Daddy.
Isn't this guy considered dead?
You weren't told anything? I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe. It was right after they announced he had died, too. Almost gave me a heart attack.
Why was Akira outside of LeBlanc right now instead of just up in the attic then if he was already brought here prior? You know what? It doesn't matter.
I didn't have time to explain.
Hey, shouldn't we tell boss what really happened?
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
What?
What we did was make that enemy kill his fake in the Metaverse.
Hold on a sec. Enemy? Fake? What are you talking about?
The true culprit behind all these incidents set us up. Our goal here was to determine their identity.
True culprit? I see. So you guys were going up against someone else.
It was Goro Akechi. You knew beforehand that he was the traitor, didn't you?
Imagine... Akechi did not mess up. The writers messed up. But imagine... Well, Akechi messed up in letting Futaba touch his phone, but that's a hard one to avoid. Imagine Akechi still shows up at LeBlanc to get a drink of coffee, and Akira's just standing there, and he's like, interesting. Oh, this is awkward. He was pretty sus.
Akechi himself gave us the chance to strike back. He made one fatal mistake.
Yeah, letting Futaba touch his phone.
Couldn't you have just said from the beginning that Akechi was the real culprit?
That wasn't something we could simply bring up. We couldn't have you suspect Akechi. Besides, neither you nor the other investigators would have believed something like that, would you?
True. Akechi was credited with the arrest of the Phantom Thieves. Not even I would think he was the culprit. In other words, you left him alone on purpose. That was a bold move.
God, I can't keep up with any of this stuff. So what was this mistake Akechi made? What did he do?
He slipped up in regards to Morgana's voice.
No, he didn't.
You mean a cat?
Yes, Morgana can talk.
Sorry, was that supposed to be a joke?
Oh, our apologies. That's completely true. You surprised?
Does that mean he said something just now as well?
But you don't understand him, do you? That's how it was for all of us at first, too.
Hold up a second. I got another question about Persona 5 continuity for you, chat. Why doesn't Sai understand the cat right now? Why doesn't Sai understand the cat? To understand the cat, you just have to go into the Metaverse, right? Sai's been in the Metaverse. She sent Akechi there. Surely she had to have gone in as well when they both went in together to get Akechi to shoot Akira's double. She should be able to understand the cat talking right now. Or maybe you have to hear Morgana's voice in the Metaverse and then you can understand him, so she wouldn't? In which case, you mean to tell me that Akechi heard the cat's voice specifically before they met in that that TV studio? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. That's stupid. That's dumb. Because she didn't experience the metaverse the proper way, she thinks it was all real? That doesn't make any sense. At all.
When you're in the metaverse, Mona talks like a normal person. Once you hear that and your brain realizes he can actually talk, you start to understand him in reality.
There's no way that Akechi heard the cat talking before that, whatchamacallit, before they met in that stupid TV station. There's no way. You're implying that Akechi specifically heard Morgana talking in Madarame's palace. That is the only single opportunity that could have happened. And when this happened, none of them noticed Akechi. Akechi was nowhere nearby enough where they could be like, whoa, what was that? Or anything. Actually, screw off.
It's a change in cognition, most likely.
I just really don't understand when they have such a very simple and smart and straightforward way of, yeah, we were sus, so Futaba bugged his phone. To do this part of the game that you're like, we gotta do the pancake thing, man. It's so funny. It's so funny if he hears the cat say pancakes. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Thanks to Akechi's lame acting, we figured out something was up.
You're the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen in my life right now on Akechi's lame acting.
When we talked to Akechi at the school festival, he was acting like he just realized Mona could talk. But we already saw him drop a mega hint about it way earlier.
So Ryuji and On apparently also noticed back then that Akechi was able, and then just was able to hear Morgana, and then they just never talk about it for 5 months. Sure, game, sure, yep, cool.
Oh, I know a place. I want to go to that huge pancake-looking place we passed on the way here.
Oh, am I mistaken? I thought I heard something about delicious pancakes.
There's so many things wrong with this scene. It just makes me mad every single time I see it.
Mona was the only one who was talking about a pancake.
The idea that they were all in just that one random conversation they were having, and then when Akechi walked up, they had another conversation with Akechi that led to, at the end of the conversation, he was like, enjoy your pancakes or whatever, and then they were like, what? The fact that all of them immediately are 100% certain, only Morgana said pancakes, oh my goodness, and not a single one of them was like, oh dude, I don't remember, I wasn't paying that much attention to the conversation. Did someone else mention pancakes? I mean, probably, right? Because otherwise he was able to understand Morgana, and that just seems whack. It makes no sense.
That meant Akechi'd already been in the metaverse by then.
And heard Morgana talking in the metaverse. Don't forget that part.
And since he was lying to us about that, we assumed he had a hidden motive behind contacting us.
We never mentioned that at all, ever though, for 5 months straight to anyone.
It seemed odd upon further thought. His reaction to my pancake comment was an honest one, after all.
Yeah, you guys got insanely lucky, and also it's stupid.
That said, we weren't so naive to overlook something like that. That's why we asked Futaba-chan to wiretap his phone.
I pretended to be interested in checking the phone out, but I was actually planting my app. My heart was pounding while I was doing it, though.
Even that ace detective could never have imagined a program being installed so quickly. Futaba's quirky nature proved to be a great help.
That was just an act! After a few days of listening, this confirmed his betrayal.
Then I'll guide the police into her palace and have them catch the Phantom Thieves in the act. That would be the only way to arrest them, given their methods. I'll deal with them after that. Let me see. We could say he stole the guard's gun and committed suicide during his imprisonment. How about that? Public security questioning will occur on the first day. And with that room, my task will be simple.
Is this for real?
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So they planned to get rid of that guard from the beginning.
Well then, I will make the arrangements the day after the arrest. And thus, the dangerous criminal responsible for the mass mental shutdowns shall end his own life. When he does, you will become a great hero who saved Japan from evil. As will I, of course.
I knew he was acting strangely, but to think he was this far gone.
He's no ace detective. Akechi is the perpetrator behind the mental shutdown crimes.
Yo, let's talk about this for a second, because I actually am curious as to what people think about this. This is 100%. I know I was talking earlier about, like, anything outside of the game is your own headcanon, so I fully admit what I'm about to say is my own headcanon, because there's no way to prove it one way or another based on just the game, but I'm curious what other people generally think about it. They say right here, like, Akechi isn't a detective, he just does the mental shutdowns. And later, Akechi says that he uses his knowledge from doing the shutdowns and all that and using the metaverse to be able to, perform these great feats of being a detective to get him his fame and all that. However, there's no way that every single thing Akechi has ever done as a detective is 100% from him doing shutdown nonsense and whatnot, right? Like, surely as he got famous, the police would be asking him or whatnot, or getting his opinion on stuff for things that are completely unrelated to stuff that Akechi puts into motion in the first place. And Akechi would then, presumably, for the sake of his image and show off that he's like a good detective, he would help them and be like, oh yeah, it's this, and figure something out like a detective would, like how Naoto would from Persona 4, right? I think that some people take this moment and be like, oh, Akechi actually isn't that smart anyway, or like he's not a detective at all, he just like rigs stuff. He absolutely rigs some stuff in his favor to make himself look better, but he's also like a really smart detective. Like all of the stuff that he does through Sai's Palace and whatnot, like that's none of like, that's him coming up with ideas like of how to get through the cheating, how to use the second card to trick Sai's shadow into letting him get to the end. Like Akechi's a smart guy and he probably is on the level of an ace detective. Would he be quite as famous as he is if he didn't have the shutdown stuff to solve on his own? Probably not. We'll never know because that's not what happens in the game. But the idea that Akechi is not actually like a skilled detective because he makes up some cases and solves them himself, I think is really stupid of people to assume. The game frames it that way a little bit at times, but like, there's no way that for the course of 2 years, Akechi only ever participated in events that he himself set up and therefore would know the answer to, right? That just seems way too unlikely to me. Plus, again, detective or not, we know Akechi is incredibly smart and skilled, just based off of how he works through Sai's Palace, which he has no prior knowledge of other than going through it with the Phantom Thieves.
On top of that, there's someone else commanding Akechi. Someone with great authority. So great that they can order an assassination in a police station.
Yeah, Wolf, and I agree. I mean, the game says it straight up. Akechi does, like, he sets up stuff with mental shutdowns, and then he solves it. That's definitely part of his repertoire. But the idea that he never does anything outside of things that he sets up, I just find that too hard to believe. Ace Tag, welcome to stream.
That's why we had to make a move before they did.
It's confusing and the whole thing is a lie to begin with. If anything, setting up the plan to cause crimes and then solving them without getting caught shows how intelligent he is. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Every now and then, I see people online being like, Akechi isn't even that smart. He just makes up crimes with mental shutdowns and then solves them. And I'm like, listen, dude, you're right. But first of all, you gotta be dang smart to do that. Second of all, like, you saw him go through Sai's Palace. The dude's clever. He's a genius. He's probably one of the smartest characters in the game. Is he the smartest character in the game? You're debating semantics and all that. Who knows who the smartest character in the game is? But is he up there? Absolutely. Gotta be, like, at least in the top 5.
I see.
We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him dispose of our leader's fake, but think he killed him.
The only stupid thing Akechi does the whole game is not figuring out he didn't kill Joker. I think I mostly agree with you. I think it would be fair to say that a stupid thing Akechi did in this game was not trying to join the Phantom Thieves legitimately. I don't want to talk too much about what's coming up in the game that's still a bit away for people watching this who may not have seen the game before, but we all know, people who have played the game before, we know what Akechi's end goal is, what Akechi is trying to accomplish by doing what he does. I think it was stupid. It would be reasonable to say that it was stupid of Akechi, upon the appearance and existence of the Phantom Thieves, to not alter his plans, to instead try and work with the Phantom Thieves instead of keep doing the things he had been doing. But that's probably just a preference or a personal opinion more so than an objective this is dumb or not.
Can you elaborate on that in more detail? What exactly happened in my cognitive world?
We're sorry for using you without your permission. Your palace had all the conditions we needed.
What conditions?
First, we required a place inside the cognitive world that was the same as in reality.
Does it matter? He's still evil? Does anything matter? Do we get to talk about the game we're playing and have discussions and etc., etc.? I mean, that's kind of the fun for me. That's why I'm streaming this rather than just playing it on my own time, is getting to discuss stuff like this with chat. So it kind of matters to me. Oh, hey, remember that place? 80 hours ago?
That place is based on the real world after all. Anywhere that's not warped looks just like normal.
That's why nobody but the person who uses the nav even realizes they're in the metaverse.
Back with Kamoshida, we came in from the station without even noticing.
Not till we got to school.
You totally can't tell the difference if there ain't any distortions around.
We had already investigated Nijima-san's palace when Makoto brought the suggestion to us.
I was seriously impressed by that suggestion. To be honest, I didn't quite understand it, but I went along with it.
Yeah, we had to trust it or whatever.
And it was absolutely the best decision we could have made.
Makoto is normally so calm as well, but once her mind is set, she gets oddly impulsive.
I did have a bit of a rivalry forming with Akechi.
I also, to this day, I still don't understand this sentence. No? No, you didn't?
But I just couldn't contain myself anymore once you became a target, sis.
Joker and Akechi have a rivalry, 1000%. I have no idea what Makoto is talking about when she says, like, I had a bit of a rivalry with Akechi, you know? You, like, only interacted with him when we were in the palace and didn't have that many lines of dialogue specifically with him. It's like, I have no clue where she's coming from with this.
The reason I joined the Phantom Thieves was to heal your heart, after all.
My own achievements were all that mattered to me. I was desperate. I wasn't myself at all. I'm sorry I couldn't see that.
That goes for the both of us. We heard from Mako-chan that you were going to do the interrogation, Nijima-san.
And regarding its location, I take it you used the data from my laptop?
I'm sorry.
Go on.
There were two things we were able to confirm while we were checking the metaverse. First, our clothes didn't change when we were down in the interrogation room. Second, the scenery and details outside of the palace proper were the same as in the real world.
Yo, by the way, super lucky on the whole clothes didn't change thing. I guess that, like, when we were outside the casino, our clothes didn't change, but then when we walked in, our clothes changed because we were deemed a threat. I guess when you're not in the casino, Sai doesn't see you as a threat no matter what, even though from then on, whenever we were outside of the casino, we would still be in our thief clothes. But whatever.
Once we heard that from Makoto, we secretly went to check it out without Akechi knowing.
There was also one more thing we absolutely needed to make this work. A perfect cognitive replica of him in the Metaverse's interrogation room.
Since he had yet to be caught, though, there obviously wouldn't be anyone in that room.
Once we saw the casino guests and police officers, we were convinced this would work. They looked no different from actual living people.
After that, we just had to work our way into the palace like usual, while keeping Akechi in the dark.